Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is 6Sam Master. I'm going to give you another deck list. This is another deck I kind of decided to build because I'm basically getting tired of using 6 Samurai because they're just dull. And it's if you play against 6 Sams or if you play 6 Sams, you know they're the same thing over and over again. So they're dull. They get boring to use. So basically, until they get hit by the ban list, I'm going to be using other decks. And the first deck I decided to use was Gladiator Beasts, since I had all the stuff for it, and they're doing pretty good right now. I kind of just I built them to run a tournament, and this past Saturday I went 3-1 with them, losing only to Tengu plants. So I think that's pretty good. And I'm going to give you my deck list. Starting off with monsters first, 3 Gladiator Beast Laquari. He's their main beater. He's his 1800 attack, and when he's summoned by a Glad Beast, his attack goes up to 2100, makes him a nice beat stick. Plus, you need him for the Laquari or Heraclinos fusion. Next, 2 Gladiator Beast to quest. When he's summoned, he recovers a Gladiator Beast card from your graveyard. You use him to bring back War Chariot. Next, 2 Darius. There's a kind of nasty glare there. There we go. He's used to special summon Glad Beasts from your graveyard, and you basically just use that as monster recovery, and then you tag them both out for a fusion. 1 Hoplimus, because he has a nice 2100 defense. 1 Bestiari, who is spell trap destruction, and he's limited, so you can only use 1. Plus, he's used for the Geyserus fusion. 1 Retiari for removing from play cards from your opponent's graveyard, which really comes in handy against Tengu plants. 1 Mormillo for monster destruction. And then on to the non-Glad Beast monsters. I only use 3. 2 Thunder King, just because it's a good anti-meta card. And 1 Neospatian Grand Mold, just because this card is pretty much an instant out to any synchro, really. I mean, the only thing, it can't really get rid of Shooting Star, because Shooting Star can negate the attack, but pretty much everything else it gets rid of. Plus, it trashes face downs too. Onto spells. You got your staples: Dark Hole, Giant Trunade, 2 MST, Monster Reborn, and Book of Moon. Your Searcher, 3 Gladiator Beast Proving Ground, adds a level 4 or lower Glad Beast from your deck to your hand, which is any of them. 2 Forbidden Lance. This card really helps in this deck. Whether using it on your monsters or your opponent's monsters. It basically drops the monster it targets. It drops its attack by 800, but it makes that monster unaffected by any other spell or trap that turn. Next, 2 Smashing Ground, basically just monster hate. Next, this is the last spells. 2 Defissure. If you've played Glad Beasts, you know that they really don't rely on monsters in grave at all, and that's why you can use Defissure. Defissure says any monster sent to grave is removed from play instead. And as I said, they can just main this, and this card trashes Tengu plants and other cards that rely on graveyard. Alright, onto traps. You got your Solemn Brigade, 2 Warnings and a Judgment, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Torrential Tribute, 3 Deprison. This kind of replaced Wabaku, from the old Glad Beast build, just because Deprison honestly just works better nowadays. I don't really know what the difference is. I ran this with Wabaku to start, and it worked just fine, but I don't know. It apparently just works better with Deprisons. And the last 3 traps, 3 Gladiator Beast War Chariot, While you control a Glad Beast monster, this negates monster effects, and it's a beautiful, beautiful card, and then you can use a quest to keep bringing it back to your hand and recovering it. Onto the extra deck. Let's see, you got your 3 Geysers. When it's summoned, you can destroy up to 2 cards in the field, and then it tags out for 2 other Glad Beasts if you battle with it. 3 Gladiator Beast Esadari. He doesn't have an effect, but he's a 25 beater fusion that requires only any 2 Glad Beasts for fusion, which makes it just really nice to have. 3 Gladiator Beast Heraclinos. He's their biggest fusion. He uses Laquari and 2 other Glad Beasts to fusion summon. And he's a 3k beater, and you discard a card to negate a spell or trap. Kind of like Sheehan, except I have to discard and it's unlimited. Then basically you just got some of your staple synchros: Catastor, Brionic, Black Rose, Stardust, and then I use a Scrap Dragon. This deck, you really never synchro. I don't even run any tuners in the main deck. It's more, they're just there if you can reborn a tuner and you can just synchro, and if the synchro can help. But otherwise, you never synchro with Glad Beasts. I mean, as I said, they're just there in case you need them, but you never synchro. And then the last card in my extra, 1 Chimera Tech. You always pretty much want to put 1 of these in your extra deck, because if your opponent uses machines and they leave a bunch of machines and a Cyber Dragon face up on the field, I mean, well, there you go. You suck them all up and you get him out. So finally, side deck. The side deck is pretty straightforward. Oh, hold on. Let me get some. Okay, not sure if you could hear that beeping in the background, but that was my alarm system. It needs a new battery. Anyway, side deck. 2 Chain Disappearance. This pretty much stops all the meta decks out there right now. It can shut down Tengu Plants. It can shut down Sam's. Get that out of the way. It can shut down Frog Monarch, even though that's apparently not really top anymore. It can stop TG Stun, because I think like 2 or 3 of their monsters, or maybe just 2. Yeah, I think just 2 of their monsters have 1,000 or less attack, but that can still really help. 2 Puppet Plant, for Sams and Gravekeepers and anything else that uses Warrior Spellcaster. 2 Kinetic Soldier for Sam Mirror Match. These are secret rare. I know that's nothing really spectacular, but I think that's really cool. 2 Cyber Dragon, for machines. 1 Nobleman of Crossout and 1 Nobleman of Extermination. I was doing 2 Noblemen of Crossout, but I put in Nobleman of Extermination because if I'm doing a deck that uses a lot of traps, it can get pretty hard for Glad Beast to go off. So I kind of just sided one of these to help clear the field a bit. Plus, I only need 1 Nobleman of Crossout for things against like Gravekeepers and stuff like that, because they're really only set 1 card. The rest it kind of will be summoned otherwise. 2 Enemy Controller. I basically put this in when I side in Nobleman of Crossout, just because it'll increase the likeliness of me keeping my traps or Nobleman of Extermination. And this card also is a good Glad Beast card for Glad Beast, because it swaps your opponent's monster to defense, which makes it a nice attack target for your Glad Beast. 2 Effect Veiler. Just because it's nice. This is a tuner that I can side in to synchro with if I need to. This is basically for decks that use a lot of monster effect, and if you're not getting your War Chariots enough, he helps. And then finally, I side a Chimera Tech. I know I main one, and I side one. I side one against into machines because I just love the as I've said in previous videos, I just love doing that play twice, and I hate doing it once and then getting the ability to do it again, but I can't because I don't have a Chimera Tech. But yeah, that was my Glad Beast deck. I dueled at locals with it. I'm gonna put that video up too. I dueled against Infernities, and I think I kind of wrecked him, but you know, that's how it goes. The build I use in there is a slight bit different. It was before I made a couple of these changes to the side deck and the main deck, but generally it's the same thing, so the outcome probably would have been the same. So watch those two, and catch you later, YouTube.